What is up, everybody? This is Hawaiian Air 2121. Today we're going to have my first airport update of Orlando MCO International Airport. I hope you guys enjoy this airport update. It was a lot of fun making, so let's begin. Starting us off with today's airport update, we have a Frontier Airlines Airbus A321 in the Courtney the Cougar tail. This plane is just about to touch down on runway 27 right from a flight from Detroit. Over here we have a JetBlue Airways Airbus A320-200 with sharklets and the Blueberries tail. This plane is just taxiing to the terminal from a flight from Cancun. Heavily being catered by fuel as well as some luggage. Here's a Spirit Airlines Airbus A321, and this plane is just boarding up for a flight out to Charlotte, North Carolina. And over here, waiting for a Spirit Airlines Airbus A321 to depart its gate. Here's a Spirit Airbus A320 in a new livery, and this plane has just arrived at the airport and terminal from a flight from Atlantic City. Up next is another Spirit Airlines Airbus A320neo. This plane is just first boarding up its passengers for a flight out to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Pulling out of its gate is the Spirit Airlines Airbus A321. This plane is pulling out of its gate for a flight out to Cleveland, Ohio. And to complete the banana buses, here's the terminal. Here's the Spirit Airlines Airbus A320neo. This plane is first catering up for a flight out to Las Vegas McCarran International Airport or Citrus Aviation's airports. Please make sure to check out his channel. Reached 5,000 subscribers and he is a fantastic YouTuber. So please make sure to check out his channel. Over here, boarding up its first crew as well as some luggage. Here's a Frontier Airlines Airbus A320neo in a Champ the Bronco livery. This plane is going to be boarding up its luggage as well as its crew and passengers soon for a flight out to Trenton Mercer. Turning left onto the runway, here's a Star Alliance Copa Airlines Boeing 737-800. Turning left to take off for a flight out to Panama City. Over here we have a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8 in a new livery. This plane will be taxiing over to the gate from a flight from Denver, Colorado, and is just taxiing over to the gate. And operating for an Airbus A320, here's a JetBlue Airbus A321 waiting to take off for a flight out to New York, John F. Kennedy. Operating for an Airbus A320neo, here's an Avianca Airbus A320 in the Taka Heritage livery, just taxiing out to the runway for a flight out to Bogota. Over here is a Spirit Airlines Airbus A321, taxiing out to the runway for a flight out to Houston IAH. Also taxiing out, here's an Air Canada Rouge Airbus A321, taxiing out to the runway for a flight out to Montreal. Up next, we have a Frontier Airlines Airbus A320 in the Orville the Red Cardinal tail. This plane arrived at the gate not too long ago from a flight from Denver, Colorado. Just pulling into its gate, here's a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800 in the Freedom 1 special livery, pulling into its gate from a flight from New York LaGuardia International Airport. Over here we have a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800 being catered up for a flight out to San Juan, Puerto Rico. And over here we have a new model to the airport, a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8 in a new livery, in the Canyon Blue livery rather. This model is made by GeminiJets and it's a fantastic model. I highly recommend it. But anyway, this plane is getting some luggage for a flight out to Phoenix Sky Harbor. Over here, taxiing to the terminal, here's an Air Transit Airbus A321 in the Kids Club special livery. This plane is taxiing to the terminal from a flight from Toronto, Canada. At the top of your screen, we have a JetBlue Airways Airbus A320-200 in the Vets in Blue special livery. This plane is first boarding up for a flight out to Salt Lake City. Over here we have a JetBlue Airways Airbus A320 and the Boston Bruins special livery. This plane is just arriving at its gate and is about to deboard its luggage from a flight from White Plains. Getting fuel and some luggage soon, here's a JetBlue Airways Airbus A321neo. And this plane is getting fuel and luggage for a flight out to Boston Logan International Airport and will begin boarding in approximately 45 minutes. And at gate 26, we have a JetBlue Airways Airbus A321neo as well. This plane has just arrived at the gate about 5 minutes ago from a flight from San Juan, Puerto Rico. And over here, taxiing to the terminal, we have a United Airlines Boeing 757-200. This is in a new livery and has new upgraded scimitar winglets, and it's just arriving at the terminal from a flight from Newark Liberty International Airport. And just going off the runway, landing in about 2 minutes ago, is the Sun Country Boeing 737-800 in the Tide Pool livery. This plane just touched down about 2 minutes ago from a flight from Minneapolis-St. Paul, and is taxiing to the terminal. Over here, taxiing to the terminal, here's a JetBlue Airways Airbus A320-200 in the 15th anniversary tail, the Blue Manatee tail. This plane is just arriving at the airport from a flight from Windsor Locks Regional Airport. Just taxiing over the taxiway bridge and landing at the airport, here's a Frontier Airlines Airbus A320neo in the sunny, the blue-colored lizard tail. This aircraft is just arriving at the airport from a flight from New York LaGuardia International Airport. Arriving in from Munich, here's Lufthansa Boeing 787-9, taxiing over to the terminal, and this plane has just arrived at the airport again from a flight from Munich, Germany. Over here, prepping up for a flight out to Calgary, here's a WestJet Cargo Boeing 737-800 with split scimitars. This aircraft is receiving freight for that flight. And over here we have a FedEx Express 757-200F being prepped up for a flight out to Memphis, Tennessee. And arriving not too long ago from a flight from Louisville, Kentucky, here's a UPS Boeing 767-300 freighter taking its freight off the plane. Arriving at the gate, here's a Delta Airlines Airbus A321 just pulling up to the gate from a flight from Minneapolis-St. Paul. Over here, being prepped up for a flight out to Atlanta or Citrus Aviation's airport, here's a Delta Airlines Boeing 767-300. This aircraft is first being prepped up for a flight out to Atlanta or Citrus Aviation's airport. Next in line, we have an American Airlines Airbus A321 with sharklets. This plane is just receiving its catering for a flight out to New York John F. Kennedy International Airport. Up next, receiving its first crew as well as some fuel, here's a Breeze Airbus A220-300, and this plane is being prepped up for a flight out to Charleston, South Carolina. Over here, just arriving at the airport and terminal, here's a Alaska Airlines Boeing 737-900 and the member of One World livery. This plane just arrived at the airport from a flight from Seattle, Washington. Boarding up its final passengers, here's a United Airlines Boeing 737-800 in a new livery. This plane is boarding up its final passengers for a flight out to Houston, IAH. And the last plane of this terminal, here being heavily catered by fuel, catering, and luggage, here's a United Airlines Boeing 757-300, known as the Flying Pencil, being prepped up for a flight out to Denver, Colorado. Over here we have a Frontier Airlines Airbus A321 and the Steve the Eagle tail. This plane is taxiing to the runway for a flight out to Philadelphia. Taxiing to the runway, we have a WestJet Airlines Boeing 737-800 with split scimitars and the 100th Boeing 737 Next Generation titles. This aircraft is taxiing to the runway for a flight out to Toronto, Canada. Over here is a fairly new model, a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8 and the Herbert D. Keller Retro Mustard Gold Special Livery. This aircraft is just arriving to the airport and is taxiing to the terminal from a flight from Dallas Love Field. Just arriving at its gate, here's a Volaris Airbus A321neo. This aircraft just arrived at its gate from a flight from Guadalajara. Over here we have a Lufthansa Airbus A340-300, which is making arrangements for a flight out to Frankfurt, Germany. This aircraft is just about finished boarding up its passengers and catering and will depart the gate in approximately 15 minutes. Turning left on runway 27L, here's a Sunwing Boeing 737-800 turning left for a flight out to Toronto. And next up we have a British Airways Boeing 787-8 receiving luggage for a flight out to London Heathrow today. Over here is a model I don't showcase often, the Azul Airbus A330-200. But anyway, this plane is going to begin boarding in approximately 15 minutes for a flight out to Rio de Janeiro. Here we have a JetBlue Airways Airbus A320-200 in a high-rise tail taxiing out to Phoenix Sky Harbor today. Taxiing out to the runway, here is a UPS MD-11F, which is taxiing out for a flight out to John F. Kennedy International Airport. Over here we have a LATAM Boeing 767-300, which has just arrived at its gate and will begin refueling and getting its luggage off the plane from a flight from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And after that, we have a LATAM Boeing 777-300ER in a Star Wars Galaxy's Edge livery. This plane is just beginning boarding for a flight out to Sao Paulo, Brazil, and will depart the gate in approximately 30 minutes. Here's an Aer Lingus Airbus A330-200, which has just begun boarding for a flight out to Dublin, Ireland. Taxiing to the runway here we have a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-700 in the Pixar's Coco 1 special livery. This aircraft is taxiing to the runway for a flight out to Nashville, Tennessee. Getting fuel and catering, here's an Air Canada Boeing 787-8, which is preparing to take off and leave the gate for a flight out to Vancouver, Canada. Over here at Gate 1 is the stunning Aeromexico Boeing 777-200ER in chrome. I don't think they fly the chrome livery anymore, but this is just a stunning model by NG Models. This aircraft just arrived to the gate about 5 minutes ago and is deboarding its luggage from a flight from Mexico City. And over here we have a Spirit Airlines Airbus A320-200 in with sharklets. This aircraft is just taxiing over to the terminal from a flight from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Taking off is Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-700 in a Heart livery, taking off for a flight out to Baltimore Thurgood International Airport. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's airport update of Orlando MCO. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. It greatly helps support the channel and it motivates me for future videos. Please let me know also what you thought of MCO and if I should continue doing this airport series. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. This is Hawaiian Air 2121 signing off. Have a good one.